All right, and we are live. We're going to do some pitching back and forth on this hangout. Take a look at each other's sales strategies, styles, see what's working for one person and what's working for another person. Typically when we set clear goals for ourselves and make a plan, we have a fairly good idea of what it is we have to do to get whatever it is we want to achieve. So in this instance, that thing we have to do is develop our personal selling styles and also learn from each other. So I think we can learn some important things here today. So Trey, why don't you start off pitching?
I work a little bit at a different angle, so when I call, I have a name I'm actually looking for, but I'll just say,
okay.
Is Mike in, please?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mike, my name is Trey Friedman. I'm with Lyons & Associates. We are a nationwide network of attorneys, private investigators, and skip tracers. We are the most effective commercial collection company in the country, and we have the lowest rates and the highest amounts collected on bad debt in the industry. We have absolutely no upfront fees. We only charge on what we collect on. All I want to do today is quote you a rate on your slowest paying account or an account that you wrote off. You tell us how you want us to approach your customers, either soft, medium, or hard. Tell me what you got.
Okay, I like that. I already have an agency, Trey, but thank you for calling.
And I understand that, Mike, that you have an agency, because every company does. They have an accounts receivable department. However, a lot of the times, as far as that's not their specialty, is in your accounts receivables divisions for collecting debt. This is what we do. Is our specialty is basically collect, slow paying accounts or debts that are aged. We've been doing it for years. I'm not asking you to basically just totally switch everything over to me. What I'm asking you is give me some of the accounts that maybe your accounts receivable people that they tried to collect on that they didn't, because it's more advantageous for you to allow us to try to collect it, because that's money in your pocket. I think you'd rather have, profits as opposed to write-offs. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, that's right. But I already have this other agency. I'm pretty happy with them.
And I'm not asking you to switch your agency. What I'm asking you to do is actually try us out with one or two accounts, see how we work out for you, because what you might find is that we're a little bit more effective than the other agency you're working for. So right now I'm not saying, hey, switch. I'm just saying try me out just to see how we work it. You're just going down the street to another restaurant to see if you like that restaurant. We're just a different supermarket, or however you want to reference it. All I'm asking is just try us out, give me one or two accounts and see how we do, because you might go, you know what, these guys are a little bit more effective than the other company that you're using.
I like the way you did that, and you did it a little differently than I would do. You went straight in and asked for the business, but I like that style. It's just as effective as, if not more effective than if I were to start asking him questions about his agency. Normally, I would go in and ask them how many accounts, see places with them, and go through that whole kit and caboodle. But you went straight for the money. I like that. That's
no time wasting here.
That's an absolutely excellent way to do it. So, what if I told you this? Well, let me think about it, man, and maybe send me a brochure, and I'll call you back when we have something.
And I can appreciate that, Mike. How long have you been in business? Probably about 20 years. While you're thinking about it, if you look through into your accounts receivables that you have, I'm sure you'll find everybody's got one or two that they never collected on. while you're sitting there looking at our brochure, we could actually be collecting on that debt for you. I'm going to have some kind of resolution to you or for you, very, very quickly, as opposed to while you're sitting there looking at our brochure and our website and thinking about it, we could be on that debt right now. I could assign a private investigator right onto that right now, some of our attorneys, and we could be collecting on that debt and going in after it for you and putting that money back in your pocket. So instead of and I don't mean this rudely, sir, instead of thinking about it with brochures, let's get started. Tell me what you got. Tell me what you got right now that you've got out there right now that you wrote off, and let us go after it. What do you got?
I like it. I like it. The most optimistic and creative people are the ones who are open to suggestion. And most of some of your decision makers are going to be that way. So I like the way you push. Kim, what do you do in that situation?
Okay, which one? Which situation? Was it the last one?
The last situation.
And I'm trying to remember what exactly you said at that point, Mike.
Okay. Well, why don't you send me a brochure and I'll send you something when I have something.
Usually, let's see, if I'm to that point and I've already carried the conversation to like where kind of to where Trey had done it there, quite beautifully, by the way, Trey. That was really good to hear.
Thank you.
Let's see, how do I kind of get my mind to where I'd be? At that point, when someone says, yeah, a brochure, I say, so yeah, I'd be happy to send you a brochure. Can you tell me a little bit about what type of accounts you run into normally? Because I want to make sure I send you the correct information. So, like, how many accounts do you normally have per quarter? And I start questioning at that point. So I basically just go into morning stuff and try and get more concrete information out of them.
And that what that does is that tells us if they're real or not real. If they're going to take the brochure and delete it, or if they're actually going to look at it. Both of these approaches are very effective. Just going right in like Trey does and saying, hey, you can sit there and look at the brochure, or you can have your money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really good to hear.
Hold one in each hand and see which one you like better, And see, Trey, what Kim was talking about, that's what we teach here, about using kind of a psychological approach, but don't stop doing what you're doing. I'm definitely not saying stop doing what you're doing. I'm just showing you another avenue, but going straight in and asking for the accounts is absolutely something you should be doing. And I think you guys can take something from each other right there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Because you can read the situation, and somebody may require that aggression in there, and if they start backing away from you, at that point you can say, well, look, I'll send you the information. Tell me how many accounts you're placing in a month, or how many quarterly. Go into that qualification. But that would only be if they're beginning to slip away from you.
Right. I don't want to irritate them where you want to, piss them off. I'll send out an email, absolutely. If they're like, look, send us an email, because I don't certainly know where they're like upset at me and they don't want to use this. So then I'll say, all right, I'll just go ahead and I'll shoot you over an email about our services, and then give me a call if you have something. I certainly, because I want to leave always on a good note.
Good.
They taught us I apologize, Kip. I was going to say something real quick. Is that the other place I was at? They taught us this. It's called buy or die, where you basically get them to hang up on you, piss them off. But I think that's a great approach to a degree. The only thing I didn't like is because there are some people that honestly, and I've pushed hard, they just don't have anything right now. But I'd rather shoot them an email and say, look, keep me in the future, because if you do have something, give me a call. I'd love to help you, because then they remember we part on professional terms. You might not get everybody calling you, but every once in a while you might get somebody calls. You know what? Hey, you left me your email. I do have something right now I need, and that's how you build business.
That's it. That's it. And I like the fact that you mentioned buy or die, because it's almost the same thing as turn and burn, which is not exactly what we do here. We want to get them in the door to build a relationship.
Absolutely.
Now, don't get me wrong. I want them to be pushed. We want those accounts. We want to push them. We want to get them now. If we can get those accounts right now, we want to get them now. We don't want to wait till next week or call me back in December, or I'll probably have something for you after the first of the year.
That's really illustrative, though, what you mentioned.
Getting my violin out. Yeah, let me play some Christmas carols for you, right?
It makes more sense to me now, though. Like that you're mentioning the buy or die sort of method that you're taught about at the other company, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Well, first of all, Trey, I really liked everything that you were saying in your approach. It's beautiful, and but the buy or die thing makes more sense to me now, since it seems like that's how people are expecting to, when I call or when any of us call, that it seems like that's what they're expecting to be pushed that hard, and then pushed to like what you're saying, the buy or die sort of mentality, and that gives me more insight, because I didn't come from the type of sales like that where I ran into that a lot, and so now I'm seeing why people often respond the way that they do. With my approach, since it is more subtle, I think many times people are really surprised by it, and I get a lot of people to open up who even sound surprised that they're even opening up sometimes, but I'm kind of seeing why now. I think they're used to people who are going, like you said, turn and burn, the other terminology, how they're used to being treated. So it seems to me, Trey, that you've transitioned that into something that is very consultative, and so yeah, it was really, really good. I'd like to hear that.
And one of the things that I was taught in this, whenever your plans don't seem to be bearing fruit, instead of pushing harder, stop and reevaluate the situation. Consider the possibility that you could be wrong in your present course of action, and revise your plans continually until they are faultless. What we're doing here is we're not going to close everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with that, I'm not saying don't be aggressive. I want you to be aggressive. Aggression is absolutely important in this business. And if somebody says, hey, you're being too aggressive, ask them if they want a pansy collecting their money for them.
Yes, exactly.
Do you want a pansy collecting your money for you? Because I can give you somebody's number if that's what you're looking for. There's plenty of pansy agencies out there. I'm not even going to say I apologize. We're not one of them. Hey. Pitch me, man.
Yeah, go to Mike Lyons, please.
This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, how are you doing today?
Busy.
Busy, good. Me too. My name's Hank Pavin. I'm with the firm Lyons and Associates, Mike. And I was calling, wanted to find out, do you guys ever use outside sources, or attorneys to help you on your past due accounts receivables, Mike?
Yeah, but we've already got somebody.
You've already got somebody?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They do a great job, man. They're the best.
Okay. How often are you sending them accounts, Mike?
About once or twice a week.
Once or twice a week. Okay. Well, good. And what you said once or twice a week? What's the average balance on those accounts that you send them? On the range on those?
Um, they're little accounts, man. Between 2 to 5,000.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I'm glad you got a good collection agency. I mean, I work with a lot of companies that have existing agencies, and what I find is that if you possibly look at somebody else to maybe compete with them, it might make them work a little harder. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense. But we're we're happy with what's going on. My mama told me when I was little, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, right. Okay. So you're sending them a pretty good amount of business. I mean, what kind of yields are they getting for you on those accounts, Mike? I mean,
I don't know. They collect some are out of business. I mean, I guess it varies. I don't have an exact number in front of me.
right. But okay, so if you're sending them, let's figure it's probably about 20,000 a month. I mean, does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's actually about right on the money.
Yeah. What would you say you're getting back from that on average? I mean, is it 5,000 or 10,000?
Well, I don't know. We get checks from them every month, a few $1,000s here and there.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'd like to do is, I mean, like to compete and see if we can increase that. I mean, our yields are about 3 times the industry average, and if we could increase what you're getting on a monthly basis on those, I mean, it's not like you really don't have any good information on that. I mean, that's you know, we would be able to show you exactly the yield that we're getting for you. I mean, you need, if we could increase that, would that be of interest?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to talk to my boss about it.
Okay. So who all's involved? So your boss would be the one to make the decision on a collection agency?
Well, it would be kind of a joint decision.
Right, right. Okay. Well, could we?
I place the accounts, but they decide,
Which one to use?
for the most part.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Well, it sounds like I'd definitely like to maybe talk to your boss and yourself sometime. Could we set up a time where we could talk together in the next couple of days to see if we can maybe improve your yields? I mean, on your accounts.
Yeah, we could do that. Give me a call next week sometime, man, and we'll set it up.
Okay. Well, what about next? You got time this week? You think you can meet with us set up a time for next Thursday in the morning or afternoon?
I don't know. I'd have to get with them first. So.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, let me call you back. What would be? I'll call you back in 2 days. You talk to him and let's set up a time to when we can possibly meet. Do a conference call to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a call next week. That'll work.
Okay. Well, I kind of blew it there, but
Yeah. And check this out. When you have somebody pulling or passing the buck,
right.
ask to get that person on the phone right now. Let me
Right.
talk
Okay.
right now.
They
There's urgency here. This is concerning your money. We're going to do a better job than whoever you
right.
have. Okay?
Right.
So let's get in there right now. Let's talk to them right now. You know what you want to do there? Well, hey, Mike, can you patch him into the call for us? Because this is absolutely going to increase your revenue. There's no doubt about it. No doubt whatsoever. We don't just compete, we dominate. Other agencies compete.
All right. And when you got, I mean, like that, like your guy where he doesn't really know what his yields are, but how do you, thing is, how do you figure out if we can beat him if you don't really know what they are? Or I don't know, they probably didn't handle that rule.
Because if he doesn't know what they are,
Right.
that means that his agency is not coming to him saying, "Hey, man, look, we're collecting 65% of everything you place with us." They're also not giving him access to reports that have yields on them. Okay?
Right.
If you look at our reports and our online access, they show yields. You know why?
Right.
We want people to see them.
Right.
Why other agencies don't put yields on there? Because they don't want them to see them. They don't want it to be known that, oh man, look how terrible we're doing.
Yeah.
They don't want anybody to see that, man. Lose a client that way. So if they don't know their yields, ask them. Well, it's not on your status reports. Can you log into their system right now and see? Ask them that. Can you log into their system right now and see? I'll hold. No problem. And he's going to say, oh, well, yeah, well, exactly. Let me give you a tour of our system.
Right.
Go to our website. Let me show you what you get if you come on with us.
Right.
And we're not asking to take all of your business away from them right now. You know, I already know that we're going to dominate whatever they're doing just by historical experience. I mean, by historical results. But let me just show you what you would have access to here. Because, I mean, we advertise our yields that we do for our clients. We let them see exactly what we're doing. Okay, collections isn't about the cloak and dagger persona anymore. We're in a new era, man, the era of transparency. And if you can't do business with transparency, you're destined for failure.
Right.
And that's something you can tell to a client too when he says, "Oh, well, I don't know the yields." You don't know the yields? Are you kidding me? What year is it? They don't have this on the online access on the reports for you? Come on, man. Really? You're pulling my leg, aren't you? Come on, log in and tell me what the yields are. You know, act like they're supposed to have it.
Right. It should.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
What if, I mean, I've had someone, like yesterday, someone told me, said, well, I said, what are your current yields? He said, 95%. Wow.
Well,
Maybe that's just one account or something. You know, maybe you need to.
maybe it is. That's the kind of client you want. If they have another agency doing 95%, we can do over 100. Matter of fact, let me see something.
I ran into one of those, Hank, and it finally got explained to me later that it was that they turned them in really young, really, really young. They turned them in at like 90 days or something.
Right.
So that's why they were getting such high yields, even from a company that probably wasn't as effective as us.
Okay. Huh.
So now I know if I ever hear that again, that's one of the questions I need to find out to help understand that.
Let me see something. Give me a second, guys.
While you're looking, can I have one of them pitch me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Back to you, Trey. Could you pitch me, and I'm going to do a scenario that another trainee is having trouble with right now with some people. So a real scenario. So anyway.
What do you want me to my opening pitch?
Yeah. Just start right out, and I'll be the person that this
Okay.
other trainee is running into.
Hi, is Kim there, please?
Yes, speaking.
Hi, Kim. My name is Trey Friedman. I'm with Lyons and Associates. What we are is we're a nationwide network of attorneys, private investigators, skip tracers. We are probably the most effective commercial collection company in the country. We have the lowest rates. We have the highest amounts collected on bad debt in the industry. We have absolutely no upfront fees, as we only charge on what we collect on. All I want to do today is just quote your rate on your slowest paying account or an account that you wrote off, and you can tell us how you want us to approach your customer, either soft, medium, or hard. What do you have?
Yeah, I don't really have anything.
And you know what? Everybody says that. I've talked to a lot of businesses, especially right now. I know you're in the trucking industry. Is that every company that I talk to says the same thing? It's kind of like a knee-jerk reaction. They go, we don't have anything right now. Until they start looking, they start thinking hard. Think, yeah, we had something that 4 years ago that, we actually wrote off. And in a state where you are, actually, the statute of limitations is 6 years. So anything really under 6 years, you can still collect. Don't just write that off. Tell me what you got. What do you have? Think hard. What do you have?
Well, I mean, I have this one guy, but he's making me payments, and he's already paid me one thing, and I know I'm gonna get the next payment, so I don't want to turn that in.
Okay, and this is a great thing. See, we don't just pound hard on every one of your clients. We can approach this very softly. We can approach it however you want us to approach your customer. But one thing that we can do is, if you have it's advantageous, if you have a collection company in your pocket, per se, is that we can make those payments come a little bit quicker, and maybe where he might even resolve the whole thing right away, because he doesn't want to have to mess with maybe getting taken to court or something. Do you really want to sit around for the next year collecting payments, or would you rather us just go in and collect the money for you right away? Agreed?
It's already been a year, so I don't mind if I have to wait another year.
And you know what? The thing is, you don't want to have to do that, though, because realistically, companies, that the way they operate and the way they benefit is basically on their profits and not on their stuff that they're having to write off or their slow payments coming in. What we can do is go in and say, look, you've been doing these payments for over a year now. Let's go ahead and just settle this out right now and get them paid. So that way, you're happy, you're not stressed having to make payments every month, and that they're not trying to come after you eventually because you're slow in the rears. So there's no harm in, for us, at least making a phone call or sending a letter. Am I right?
Well, yeah, but I don't want to pay somebody for something that I can collect myself.
Oh no, and you can, but you know what? Realistically, if you would have collected yourself, you really already would have done so, and you wouldn't be actually on a payment plan. See, we have very, very low fees, and around a year like that, typically, if it's under a year, our fees are typically around about 30%, which is not bad in the industry. A lot of companies charge around 50% or more. So I'm willing to do this debt for you collected at a 30%. At 30%. Which I think is completely fair, for us to put all the effort into that.
I liked that response, by the way. Well, I'll think about it, but yeah, I'm not ready to do it yet.
No disrespect, Ken, but what are you thinking about? What do you want to think about? Collecting your money where it's a profit in your pocket, or letting it, come seeping in 10, 20, 30, 50 bucks a month? I'd rather have that money in my pocket right now. I don't mean this disrespectfully to you, but you're making a foolish decision by letting someone make a slow payment where you could collect that money right now. Tell me what I can do. Let me get your business right now. What do you got to lose? I'll send a letter of your customer. I'll have them pay this out right away. You can take it right off your books.
Thanks, Trey. I think that's great right there, and good, because that presented some good new ways that my trainee could approach this. In this case, too, this guy just kept hemming and hawing, and finally he turned to the, I'm just too busy to deal with this right now. So what would you do then?
If you said just you're too busy to deal with it right now?
Yeah.
You're too busy to collect money? Are you in business to make a profit, or are you in the business to sit and not make any money? So by you saying right now that, hey, you know what, I'm just too busy I don't want to deal with this right now, you're saying, you know what, I don't want to make money to profit to help my business grow. I'm not here to basically hurt your business. I'm on your baseball team, Kim. You know, you're the pitcher, I'm the batter. What I want to do is I want to bat this right out of the park, and I want to bring this money back into your pocket. So, you know what? I'm going to look like the hero. And here's a big benefit to you, Kim. If I collect this debt for you, you know what you're going to do? You're going to go, you know what? Mine's associates. Those guys are some bad mofos. You know, these guys are the ones that collect debt. And you know what? And now I don't have to worry about anybody screwing our company, because anytime there's a problem, you're going to turn it over to me, and I'm going to get your debt for you. You're not going to lose money. Am I right?
That would be right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Trey. That was great. That's going to really help the trainee, because she you know, she's new, and so she kept pushing, but she didn't know exactly where to go with it when the person keeps evading, and in this case it is a trucking person, and he has a debt which the only way that he even got a payment is by hassling the person. The person hasn't actually stuck to their payment plan. So I think a lot of what you said will be very useful to her, because she's going to be talking to him again this next week. So anyway, so Mike, sorry, back to you. You look like you found whatever you needed.
Yeah, I did. And you know, on the "I'm too busy" objection, you know, it's the same old thing. We're all busy, you know. You know, like Trey said. Now I like the way he pushed. You know, companies' profits are important business. You know, you're too busy to make money. Well, you know, maybe you need to shut the business down and retire.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to make a point about this guy who told you that they're collecting 95%. I'm going to do a screen share for you guys and show you a recovery percentage that's higher than 95%, higher than 100, higher than 110, higher than 120. And it's because this client places accounts early. They have their credit apps in order for us to collect collection fees and interest, which, let's see. Oh, wait. I'm trying to do this without showing who the client is, so I'm not advertising their name on here. I might have to show it to you guys afterwards, because this is live. But yeah, because if I do, let me see something. Let's see if I can figure this out. No, wrong thing. Let me open up a program and just wait. No, this is not. This is not the one I'm looking for. Open Manager. No, this is not it. Okay. There we go. Now I can do this. I had to put it in a image capturing program so I can show you guys. But if you see here, we've got a recovery percentage here, 146%. And this is one of those clients that places things on time, and they have their paperwork in order. Our yield for them is 146% because we collect everything they place. We collect every penny of interest and every penny of collection fees on every account.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Okay? So tell your guy with his 95%. Never mind. I'm not even going to say what I was going to. I'm going to behave myself.
And so, Mike, is that one in construction then?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Cool.
It is. It's construction supply, California.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah. That number includes that's before the collection fees taken out, right? That when it says percentage, so what they're actually getting is that's when we recover 146%, but they get that less the collection fee. Is that correct?
That's correct. They get that minus our 33% that we charge them.
Right.
Still, that's really sweet. Gee whiz.
Yeah, that's really good. Really good.
And you know that's what it's about. You know, if your guy's doing 95%, awesome. You found a pretty good collector. I promise you, we can do better.
Mike, could you pitch me, and I'll be another person that I'm having a trainee run into, another issue. Would that work?
Sure. Hell, I might want to make Trey pitch you, man. I like his style. He's aggressive. But let's go here. Kim Goodwin, please.
Speaking.
Hi, Kim. This is Mike Lyons. I'm with the firm Lyons and Associates. We're the most effective collection agency in the country. Do you use agencies as an extension of your accounts receivable department?
You guys again. Okay. Well, you know, we have an in-house legal department, and they handle everything, and we have no need for collections.
Is that right?
Yes.
What were your write-offs last year?
You know, I don't even handle that. They just get sent over to legal, and legal takes care of it, and they handle it perfectly, and we don't have any debts.
Who handles it?
The legal department handles it.
I understand that. I'm asking you for a person's name so you don't have to get upset and say, oh, you again the next time I call. I'm trying to help you out here. So, do you want my help, or do you want me to keep calling you and annoying your day? I mean, the choice is yours, Kim.
Fine. You know, our legal department is back in our corporate division. I don't know, you know, they don't want me sending people there, but they're out of the corporate office if you want to track them down.
Would you rather me call you?
No.
Okay, then give me somebody's name. I won't tell them I did. But if I have to track them down, I'm going to say, hey, Kim Goodwin said to call you.
Oh! Okay, and so let's imagine they gave you and by the way, yeah, so we really ran into that. But either way, let's imagine then that you got the legal department. So let's just go straight there. So okay, and so you got a name, another Kim in legal department.
Heather Kim?
Sure.
Hi, Heather. This is Mike Lyons with the firm Lyons and Associates, the most effective commercial collection agency in the country. I understand that all of your delinquent accounts go to your legal department before they're written off. Is that correct?
Yes, and we don't even write off anything. We pursue everything to the end.
To the end. Okay, so the ones that you can't collect, you don't get a tax break on them? I mean, isn't that a bad business decision?
Well, we get judgments on everything. We're in construction, and we get judgments and we pursue them until either we get them or they're too old to be pursued anymore, past the statute of limitations.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, when a company has a bad debt, okay, you're allowed to write off things that you have to sue. Why don't you write them off?
Well, our company, CFO decided that we should just pursue everything, both to show that we are not going to let people get away with stuff, and also to make sure that we're, making the most money possible and justifying our department.
It doesn't sound to me like you're making the most money possible. I mean, if you're not writing them off and taking a tax break before you go in and get a judgment, I mean, well, actually, that's probably a conversation for me to have with your CFO. But what are you actually collecting on these judgments? I mean, what percentage, and how long does it take you?
We bring in at least 95%, and it usually takes us under 2 years.
95% in under 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
What type of judgments are they?
Construction related.
And they're taking you 2 years? Are you serious? Do you want me to show you how to do them in 90 days?
Well, it sounds like that might end up replacing our department.
I'm not looking to replace your department. You told me your CFO is trying to make the most money, and I think I can help him. Give me your CFO's name, or could you patch him in for me?
His name's Joe. You'll have to contact him yourself, though.
Joe. Joe who? You're going to give me his last name, or do I need to look it up with the Secretary of State?
Joe Blow.
You got jokes, huh?
No. Let's say it's serious.
That's nice of you, Heather Kim, but look, I'm not trying to replace your department. I'm trying to be an extension of it, okay? So, maybe we can help each other out here, and I could help make your job a little easier.
That's not such a bad idea, but you'll have to talk to him. All right, thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, Mike. That's just nice to hear because we are we all run into these sort of things at times, and when people are so just cocky on this end of the phone, it can be really hard to kind of keep your confidence up and keep going. So I liked that example.
Well, the fact is, if they're in one of the western states and they've got construction-related judgments are sitting on for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
I would have laughed at them just like that on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Dumbass. Excuse me. But yeah, stuff like that. If one of your people has that particular situation taking place, and I know we're really only chasing construction stuff in the western states, so I'm assuming it's there.
Mm-hmm.
We need to talk to those people, because if they're just sitting on the judgments, they're stupid. Not just one stupid, but 3 stupids.
Mm-hmm. And so here's actually a question for you about judgments that I was going to get with you about later today. I ran into a woman yesterday in trucking, and she has a judgment that is, oh goodness, from either 07 or 08. She had to pull it up. She couldn't remember off the top of her head. So does that fall under the UCC rules or under... I saw that there were statutes of limitations, one where there was a 4-year expiration and another one where there was a 6-year expiration for like the sale of goods. In this case, the person who she had to sue was the consignor. Is that something we can pursue potentially when it's getting that old, do you think?
Is the consignor still in business?
Yes.
Or why won't they pay?
She just didn't know how to make them after getting the judgment.
And
oh, but they sued. She sued the individuals who owned the business rather than the business itself.
I could walk into a courtroom and get that overturned.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you know, we might be able to slap them around a little bit and get a settlement, but I mean, if she sued the wrong party, it's
A bit of a problem. Okay.
and I'm assuming she handled it herself. It's a small claims judgment. That's what it's.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where people are making a mistake then?
Well, the first mistake she made was not placing it for collections with us.
Yeah.
That's what she should have did, and she would have had her money a long time ago. But she chose to go to small claims. She sued the wrong people. Now she spent money to go after bad money, and she still has nothing. Tell her to chalk it up as a cost of doing business and forget about it.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. Okay, so could I have Trey pitch me, and I'm going to be another scenario that I have another trainee running into?
And just 1 second.
Sure.
Guys, if any of you are calling any construction leads in California, and let me tell you how good this business is. The construction supply in California, we collect this stuff so fast, okay, because in California, a contractor has a contractor's bond. The contractor's bond covers supplies, materials, or services that were used in conjunction with a job site or a job or whatever building contract, whatever took place. If this contractor does not pay, you can assign the liability to that contractor's surety, and the surety will pay you.
Oh,
If
wow.
the surety pays you, they will take that contractor's license away from him, and he cannot contract under any other license. He can't get a new one under another name or anything. Okay, now, if you have a company that sells to contractors and they have a judgment against a contractor in California, we can also get his license taken away. You want to go and advise your clients of, because if they do not know the laws on this, they're going to go in and mess everything up. Okay? The trick to it is you have to know the laws. If they haven't studied that 1,125-page California Building and Professions Code book, like I have, and I've taught Shanahan here the same thing. You're going to walk in there and get kicked in the teeth. That's it. So that's why we don't want to tell the client, oh, well, you could just file on his bond, because you know what's going to happen if the client files on his bond? Bond company is going to deny it. They're going to send him a copy of the statute, the reason why, and the client's going to have to either figure it out and go back in and be able to put pressure on the surety, because when you collect from a surety, you still have to collect from them. It's still a collection proceeding. They don't just give you the money. They're an insurance company. They don't want to pay you because they have to have a return on their investment. Okay, and they get a return on their investment by not paying out claims, just like any other insurance company. Okay, so when we get this type of paper, like, I'll give you an example of a guy, a plumbing contractor in California. Client was one of these guys that, like Kim was talking about, you know, they get judgments and sit on them for 2 years. They sent us over a 2-year-old judgment. We gave the guy a chance to pay us. He sent us 2 post-dated checks for $6,000 a piece, well, $5,800 a piece. The second one bounced, and he played games with our collector on it. I told Tom, I said, send a copy of the judgment to the Contractor State Licensing Board in Sacramento, and they will revoke his license within 3 days. I said, call the debtor back in 3 days and tell him to pull up his license online and ask him if he wants to talk now. This guy starts crying. I can't go to work now. And he knows he can't go to work because we PI'd him, and he thinks we're actually going to have a PI following him around, and if he goes to work, we're going to report him, and he's going to get fined another $10,000 per instance, per job that he's working on, if he's contracting without a license. So we've got this guy on the ground with a foot on his neck, basically saying, bitch, give me my money, or you're not going to be able to go to work. So he paid us so he could go back to work. But this is the type of leverage we have in those situations. And we not only have this leverage, but we know how to use it. This is where my primary expertise is in this particular business, in the collection business. That's where my primary expertise is.
Huh.
And
that's good stuff, Mike. Thank you.
so if you guys can get some stuff in where the client is in California, sells to California contractors, and they sell bricks, or they sell stone, or they sell wood to contractors, or fasteners, whatever, cement, ready mix, who cares? Can you build something with it? Does somebody owe you? Bring it on. Because the collections are fast. And if they're not fast, that means that that contractor is no longer going to be in business, and we're still going to get paid. Still going to get paid. We're going to put them out of business and still get paid. And that's leverage, man, like the TV show, leverage.
That contractor is going to want to settle because he doesn't want to lose his license.
Well,
Absolutely not.
Exactly. And the client that I just showed you 146% yield on, they sell to contractors in California. That's why we have that yield.
That's
we
phenomenal.
collect everything. You know why? Because these guys want to stay in business. You don't go in business to go out of business. You go in business to make money, to stay in business, so you don't fail. And don't get me wrong, we want to keep going after the trucking stuff too. Transportation is gold also. The construction stuff's really good too. And well, we haven't seen any of that paper and shit, probably a month. So I want some of it. You know, it's good stuff. And plus, I like hearing Tom beat on a contractor. Because Tom will tell them, look, I don't care about you. I don't care about your family. I don't care what's going on with your business. All I care about is my client's money. And you're going to pay us, because if you don't, this is what's going to happen. You have 24 hours to have a check in our office. Then if the check's not there, we start smacking. And believe me, the ones who call his bluff, they get it pretty bad. And realistically, he shouldn't care about what's going on in their life. He shouldn't care about their family. He shouldn't care about anything because it's business to business. You know, this guy didn't go out and take a personal loan and this, that, or the other. He opened up a business, employed other people, did some jobs, decided to take the money and put it in his pocket and do whatever it is he did with it. And maybe there was a sale on cocaine and hookers on Hollywood Boulevard. You know, he spent all the money. But whatever the case is, it's just business. So if anybody's watching this and thinks I'm harsh, I'll bring a box of Kleenex for the next one, so you can cry about it. Anyway, Kim and Trey, you guys wanted to pitch each other. I went off on a tangent there. I apologize.
Actually, that was a helpful tangent because that gave me a lot more background and understanding to how the construction stuff works and why it's so effective. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. That was good.
So Trey, could you pitch me? I'm going to, again, I'm going to do a scenario I have a person running into.
Just give you my opening pitch again.
Yeah, just actually, you know, let's start with the gatekeeper. Let's start with the gatekeeper this time and just see how you go through that. So, ABC Supply, how's it going?
Hi, how you doing? Hi, my name is Trey Friedman. I'm with Lyons & Associates. We are a nationwide network of attorneys, private investigators, skip tracers. I think his name is Bob in accounts receivable. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes. We do have a Bob.
Okay, that's who I was. Is Bob available? I'll hold. Thanks.
Okay, let's say they say, yeah, you know, Bob really, he's instructed us. We have an in-house collection, and we really don't need any services like that.
Oh, you know, and I understand that. I've actually dealt with Bob before. I want to actually speak with him again. I've got some updates for him. I'll hold. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Here, let me patch you through. Hi, this is Bob.
Hey, Bob. This is Trey again over here. I spoke with you, I think, a while back. I don't know if you remember. I'm with Lyons & Associates. We're a nationwide network of attorneys, private investigators, and skip tracers. Just to kind of refresh your memory, we are probably the most effective commercial collection company in the country. We have the lowest rates and also the highest amounts collected on bad debt in the entire industry. We have absolutely no upfront fees, as you remember. We only charge on what we collect on. And all I want to do today is just quote you a rate on your slowest paying account or an account that you wrote off that we had discussed before. What are you working with right now? What do you have?
You know, we have nothing. We credit check our people so well. We just have no issues whatsoever.
And every company has that, and I'm not negating as far as what you guys do is like you don't have a great accounts receivable department. What I'm saying is every department though has those 1 or 2 or 3 accounts that they just couldn't collect on. Everybody has them. You guys would be like miraculous if you didn't. So what I'm asking for is give me an account out of your department there that you tried to collect on that just maybe had your accounts receivable was not effective on collecting the debt, and let me quote you my rate on it. What do you have?
You know, we just have no need. We don't really want to pursue our clientele that way either. So we screen them very, very carefully first, and we take care of our own business because it's just the way we've decided to do things. We don't really think collections is the right way to go about things.
And I agree with you 100%, absolutely. However, one thing nice about our company is that we have 3 different approaches because not everybody, the biggest fear about when people think going to a collection company is that we're going to call them up, we're going to pound them hard on the phone and scare the living daylights out of them to where they're not going to want to do business with you and it's going to upset them. And we understand that. Now, there are some of those clients that do need to pursue that way, and I'm sure you agree with that. However, but there are some accounts that maybe we can basically do baby steps with them just to kind of as a reminder to say, hey, look, you owe ABC Industries some money. Just want to send out a reminder to you. Just that way we keep it a very soft approach. You tell us how you'd like to approach your customer. That's the beauty of it. Tell me, what do you have, what you're working on right now? An account that you wrote off, or account that's maybe slow paying right now. What do you have?
You know, we only have a few slow paying accounts, but it just really isn't worth my time to turn those in.
How many days out are they, may I ask?
90.
90 days. Okay, that's a good amount of time. I mean, can you imagine if it was your money, not your company's money, but your money personally, and somebody was 90 days from paying you money that you're expecting to maybe help you out with your rent or whatever else, you'd be upset. Well, the same thing with the owner of your company. He's probably upset. Your company uses that money to pay you guys, your salaries, and so that's beneficial money. It's not just money should be sitting out there for when they can pay you whenever they want to. Let us do a soft approach on these people. We'll do a test run like that. If you don't like it, you can never use this again. But let us have that account. Let us show you what we can do. What's the name of the account?
Yeah, I really can't turn anything over. The fact is that the owner of the company really just doesn't want to take that approach.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and grab your owner? I'll hold on the phone. Bring him on the phone for about 5 minutes. Tell him what we're trying to do. I'll hold for a second. Let's get him on the phone and discuss this, and let's get some resolution to this account, these couple accounts for you. I'll go ahead and hold.
He's not here right now, but you could always try him back if you wanted.
Okay, what's in his name? What's his name again?
Okay, we'll say Joe Morgan. There you go.
Joe Morgan. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and give Joe a call. When's the best time usually to reach Joe?
He's just in all over the place. There's no predicting, so I have no idea.
You don't have the ability in your company to basically assign any accounts over to me. You have to actually go through Joe for all your accounts?
Yeah, because he doesn't want us to really be assigning anything over.
Okay, so he actually is the one that actually would have to assign the account?
He'd have to make the decision about using a collection company. I would be in charge of assigning the account, though.
Okay, all right, but you can't make that decision to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and use you today. That's not you?
No.
Okay, but here's what I'm going to do. While I'm going to shoot you over some forms like that. Give me your email address, and I'm going to send you over our forms. As far as the only thing you need to do is a signature and a placement form as far as for the account that you'd want to place in collection. And then that way, when I talk to Joe, you already have the forms, and he can sign it right there and basically get us started. So I'll get what's your email address?
Yeah, you can send it to accounting@abc.com.
Super, got it. Okay, and to your attention?
Yes.
Okay, and then I'll follow up with Joe. And Joe, what's the best time usually to reach Joe?
Really, he's in and out. He has his own schedule. I don't have any idea.
When do you normally see him? When is he walking around the office? And would be about 10 o'clock in the morning?
It's random.
Random? Okay. When you say random, do you mean like when's the best time? Usually that if I were to try to call him, what would be a best possibility?
I guess midday. That'd probably
midday? Okay, so 2 o'clock? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay, I'll give him a call then. Thank you for your time.
Thanks. Great, thank you. Thank you for dealing with a real nebulous one. I liked seeing how you pinned it down and just kept pinning it down and pinning it down. That's also what Mike always does, and it's incredible how slippery people can be, when they don't want to be the one who has to make a decision or gives too much information or something like that. So anyway, thank you. That was a good example.
Appreciate that.
I like that, man. Push and push and push and push, because he's got something sitting there. And
if you think about it, you know what? Because we're a collection company. If we were just do a soft approach and say, okay, all right, well, thank you, have a nice day. Well, then we don't sound very aggressive. But if we're aggressive on the phone, they're like, well, it's like, I say, hey, you know what? I may sound a little over aggressive right now, Kim, but keep in mind, this is how we're going to approach collecting your debt from your clients that owe you money. You don't want a soft approach to some of these people that owe you money. You want them to come. You want us to go after it very, very aggressively. That's your money.
it absolutely is, and that's how it should be approached. Because you're going to have people in the accounts receivable department and credit management, things like that aren't necessarily concerned about the company's profits. And the fact is, no matter what company you work for, that company's profit should be important to you. because that's where the growth comes from. That's where the promotions come from. You know, that's where everything comes from.
And by the way, real quick, Kim, one of the, like a trick of the trade that I've kind of learned, it's been very successful for me, and I've been in sales 20 years, is that when you call like any department, doesn't matter if it's accounts receivable, whoever else, act like you know who you've talked to. Just say, you know what, I was speaking to Jim, or gosh, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. It usually works most of the time, not always. And they'll say, oh, you mean Steve? Oh, Steve, yeah. Is Steve available? And that's how you sneakily get the name of the person. It sounds like you've already spoken with them.
That's great.
Awesome. Yeah, and if that doesn't work, it has to be transferred to sales, and they'll transfer you. Yeah, Trey, if you watched my Getting Past the Gatekeeper video, that's one of my old tricks, man. When they won't put the decision maker on the phone, you call back, get transferred to sales, and you ask somebody in the sales department to transfer you, because a salesperson wants to get you off of his phone. You're not calling to buy from him. Hey, man, I don't want to talk to you. And a sales guy, he's not the gatekeeper.
Right.
He's going to send you right over.
And I've actually done that, Mike, and it worked perfectly. It was kind of funny too, because the guy said, okay, here, I'm going to put you through it. Don't tell him that you came from me. And I laughed, and he said, well, you know, sales and collection, you know, sales and credit, we hate each other.
Exactly. And look, I've been on both sides of the fence. It's even like that in a lot of collection agencies. The salespeople and the collectors don't like each other. Luckily, we don't have a whole lot of that here. But in a lot of agencies, hell, I used to be one of those salespeople, and I used to be one of those collectors.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh yeah. But you know, it's easy to blame somebody else when things aren't going right. That's what it all boils down to.
Well, we're at 10:15 now, and I'm sure everybody wants to get back on the phone. But Hank, did you have anything that you wanted to pitch, or that you wanted people to pitch to you about, like some sort of a scenario?
I just imagine my takeaway from it. I mean, like I said, it's good to hear another approach. I mean, Trey's approach is a lot more aggressive in a way. Yeah, I mean, I need to work on being more aggressive, and you know, I guess once they told you no, I mean, what do you got to lose? You know, you might, you know, like, yeah, I've heard Mike talk about it. You know, if you piss them off, so what? You know, and so just definitely some good ideas just to press people to tell you, just try to get information out of them. So I like, you know, definitely useful time.
And that's it, man. Look, if they're already pissed, they already said no. So what if you piss them off more? It really doesn't matter. I've never met somebody who can jump out of one of these and bite you.
Very good point.
And if I ever do meet that person, I'm going to hire them.
That's funny.
They're going to be crawling through the phone after debtors. What? What did you say? Oh, go bite this. Go bite him on the ear.
Exactly.
Jump out of the phone and smack him in the head for me.
Thank you so much, all you guys. Thank you. This was really good. I think this is going to be so helpful to a bunch of the trainees who I think are listening right now. So that's great.
Yeah, these are cool. These are very effective. Very effective. I like these.
Absolutely, man. This was absolutely productive. So I guess I'm gonna close this thing so we can all get back to doing what it is we do and make some money.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good day.
Have a good day, guys.
All right, take care, guys.